Hello and welcome to Pots and Trowels, and we're out and about again this week, and we find ourselves in the magnificent setting of the Christchurch Botanic Gardens in New Zealand. This magnificent herbaceous border behind me is just one of the many beautiful areas of different styles of planting within the Christchurch Botanic Gardens. So this week on Pots and Trowels, we're going to have a look at some of the different areas and find out more. So while I've been wandering around the garden, I bumped into an old friend, Wolfgang Bopp. Hello, Wolfgang.
Hi.
It's
Good
so
to see you.
It is, because I think last time I saw you would be at the Chelsea Flower Show.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that was me. Yep.
Now moved across here to New Zealand, where you are the director of the Botanic Gardens.
That's right. Yes. So it's just fantastic to see a very different flora. And to have a new garden to explore, so it's really nice.
Yeah, because you've been here almost 18 months, so it's still fairly new in the job, but it must be a huge learning curve because it's so different in New Zealand to what it is in England.
It is. I mean, the climate is it's comparable to the south of England, but we're just that little bit milder. So things like phoenix palms growing in people's front gardens quite happily, as you've seen lemon trees growing in private gardens, and yet we do get -3, -4. That's what we had last year, for instance, this last winter.
Right.
But it's only for maybe 3 or 4 hours, and that's the sort of difference that you can get away with growing such a much wider variety.
Yeah. So just tell us a little bit about the history of the garden, or the Botanic Garden here, because it looks like it's been here hundreds of years, but it's not, has it?
No, it hasn't. It started in 1863, so that's when the Botanic Gardens here started, and also the one in Dunedin. So that was a time when there was the celebration of plants, and very much at that time it was about bringing an English garden, i.e. the history of the people that at that time were moving into Christchurch, moving into New Zealand from abroad, wanting to bring a bit of home with them, almost. So here in the gardens you've got features like the lime walk, for instance, very traditional as you would see it in a British garden. We've got 2 rose gardens, so we've got a modern rose garden, circular design, again very typical, and then we've got what we call the heritage rose garden, which is far more about the species roses. But then mixed in with that you've got things like the native garden. There's an area we call the icon garden, where we've got all the iconic plants that you find in New Zealand, and put it together really in a way, at least in part of it, that it almost feels like a natural, semi-natural woodland, like you would find, if you go out into the bush and a little bit onto the west coast as well, seeing those plants and tree ferns, and you are within 600-800 metres of the CBD, Central Business District, so it's right in the heart of the gardens, but yet, birdsong very often is stronger in those areas than the noise of some cars in the distance.
Yeah, because it is such a wonderful, calm and relaxing place to be, isn't it? And very well used, because it's free for anybody to come into the garden whenever they want. So there are lots of families here, lots of people enjoying it. And it's lovely to see plants that I recognise from the UK, but then, as you say, it's such a diverse collection. You've got plants from literally all over the world, and some amazing trees, haven't you?
Yes, that's right. I mean, it is a worldwide collection. And the growth of plants is just phenomenal. It's if you planted them at the same time in the same year, say in North America or in Europe somewhere, chances are here they would be growing much faster. The eucalyptus that we looked at just earlier, that's a prime example. We don't know exactly how old it is. It might be 120, 130 or so years old, but it's got an enormous trunk. It's a champion in New Zealand, and even the Australians, who might know it from their native woodlands, when they come here, some of them say, wow, I'm not sure I've seen as big a one as that before.
There are some huge trees, and it's just amazing to see them. So you're here now as the new director, so obviously hopefully you're going to be here for a long time. have you got plans to make changes or to improve and evolve the gardens?
It's certainly, I mean, it's very much an evolutionary process, because you've got an existing gardens, fantastic collection. We get 1.4 million visitors coming through here, and the people of Christchurch love the gardens. Mm-hmm. So, it's taking to that next step. It's moving it forward, developing some of the collections, refining. We've got a master plan, so there's a few projects, that we'll be wanting to do, trying to raise funds for it as well, and just working with the team. I'm really lucky. I've got a great team of volunteers and staff that support us, and moving that forward and giving it that next chapter.
Well, good luck with it. I mean, you certainly know your plants. They've got the right man for the job. They had to bring you out here to get it moving forward. I mean, it's a beautiful place anyway, but it's that sort of input from you, I'm sure, will take it to the next level. I look forward to coming back in a few years' time and having a look. But thank you for letting us have a look round. Great to see you, Wolfgang. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Inside the Cunningham Glasshouse, which is around 100 years old, you'll find a range of foliage and flowering plants, many of which we grow in our homes as house plants. Well, hopefully that will give you a flavour of the gardens here. So whether you like formal bedding, New Zealand native planting, an English garden scene or tropical plants, you'll find it all here in the Christchurch Botanic Gardens. Next week we're back at home. See you then.